The camera opens on a slow, rainy morning at Arlington Cemetery. Rows of soldiers stand at attention. A black casket, draped in the flag of the United States, lies at the center. The camera pans to a frail, old man, coat torn, walking stick trembling in his hand, trying to enter through the iron gates. "Sir, this event is restricted," the young guard says firmly. The old man's voice cracks, "Please. I just need 1 minute. He was my boy." "I said step back, old man," the guard snaps. As tension rises, a convoy of black SUVs halts suddenly. From the middle car steps out a 4-star general, medals shining through the mist. The crowd goes silent. The general looks straight at the old man, his face frozen. "Stand down," he orders the guards. He walks closer, his voice breaking, "That man saved my life." Screen fades to black, the title appears in bold. Guards refused the old man at the general's funeral until a 4-star general halted everything. Rain poured over Washington that morning, as if the heavens themselves mourned the passing of General Marcus Hale, the nation's decorated hero, the man who had led soldiers into hell and brought most of them back. Crowds gathered around the cemetery gates. Reporters whispered stories about his bravery, how he never abandoned a single man in battle, how his last command had saved an entire battalion. Flags flew at half-mast. But away from all the cameras, a frail old man named Eli Turner walked up the hill. His shoes were muddy, his hands shaking from the cold. His coat hung loosely on his thin shoulders. In his weathered eyes, decades of silence and sorrow. When he reached the main gate, 2 military guards blocked his path. "Sorry, sir, this is a closed event. Only family, dignitaries, and registered military personnel." Eli reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a wrinkled photo, a younger Marcus Hale smiling beside him, both in uniform, arms around each other, covered in dirt and smoke. "He wasn't just a general to me," Eli said softly. "He was my brother in war." The guards glanced at the photo, unimpressed. "We've got orders, sir. Please step aside." People around them began to whisper, some mocking, others pitying. A few even took photos. The old man's eyes filled with tears. He looked toward the distant crowd, the casket draped in red, white, and blue, and whispered, "I promised I'd see you one last time, Marcus." But no one listened. He turned to leave, clutching his walking stick, when a black SUV rolled past. The guards saluted sharply. Inside sat General Nathan Ross, a 4-star general, powerful, respected, feared. Ross caught a glimpse of the commotion through his tinted window. Something in that old man's face made him frown. He rolled the window down. "What's going on here, Sergeant?" "Just an old civilian trying to get in, sir," the guard replied. "He claims he knew General Hale." The general's eyes fixed on the old man. His expression shifted, shock, disbelief, then deep sorrow. He stepped out into the rain, removing his cap slowly. His voice trembled. "Good God! Eli Turner?" The guards froze. The old man looked up, confusion clouding his eyes. "Nathan," he whispered. The general approached him, ignoring the puddles soaking his boots. You're alive?" Eli nodded weakly. "Barely. Guess I outlived everyone I promised I'd die beside." Ross's jaw tightened. Memories flooded back, blood, smoke, and screams. Eli Turner, the medic who dragged him out of a burning jeep in the middle of an ambush. The man who vanished afterward, presumed dead. And now, here he stood uninvited, unrecognized, forgotten by the very army he once bled for. Ross turned to the guards, his tone sharp but trembling. "Let him in. That man doesn't need permission to attend this funeral. He earned it." As they entered, the rain lightened. The crowd turned to see the decorated General Ross escorting a frail old man beside him, hand on his shoulder like an honor guard. Whispers spread like wildfire. Cameras turned. The funeral reached its silence as the eulogy began. But before the speeches could start, Ross stepped up to the podium, voice cracking. "Before we lay our brother to rest, there's something everyone needs to know. The man beside me, Eli Turner, is the reason most of us are standing here today. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Ross continued, eyes glistening, 47 years ago, in the jungles of Vietnam, I was a young lieutenant. An ambush hit our convoy. I was pinned, bleeding, convinced I'd never see another sunrise. Then this man Eli ran back into the fire. He dragged 3 of us out, including me. When the helicopter came, he refused to board until every last man was safe. The last time I saw him, he was carrying Marcus Hale on his back, both of them disappearing into the smoke. Eli's eyes watered. His voice was soft, trembling. Marcus didn't make it easy, he said with a broken smile. He'd been shot, but he still made me promise something, that if he ever went first, I'd come say goodbye. Ross swallowed hard. And today, Eli Turner kept that promise. Even when the world forgot his name. The soldiers stood. One by one, men in uniform removed their caps in silent honor. A bugle began to play taps. The rain had stopped completely now. Rays of sunlight broke through the clouds, falling gently on Eli's face. As the casket was lowered, Eli whispered, "Rest easy, brother. Mission complete." General Ross placed his hand on Eli's shoulder. "You'll never be forgotten again, soldier. Not on my watch." The old man saluted one final time, slow, trembling, but proud. The crowd followed. Even the guards who had turned him away now stood with tears in their eyes. When the ceremony ended, reporters surrounded Ross, asking who the old man was. He simply replied, "He's the bravest soldier I ever knew." As Eli walked away from the cemetery, the camera zoomed out, his figure small against the horizon, but his presence towering in memory. Voiceover, closing line. Heroes aren't always the ones with medals. Sometimes, they're the ones forgotten by history but remembered by the heart.